And I am not, if you are you, the sails upon this ship. For clever words and wretched hearts they too soon would rip. Through the seas of seven infantries we'll claim these words our own, and we will bring them all discomfort as we ravage through their homes. And we'll take what we need, our booze to fill our apathy. It is a walking the plank for mentality, the kind that they will never see, so please blink twice because that is your reality. And 'tis a hard life living when all that you have done is search for ye buried treasures off the islands of every one. And I know that you are playing now, you're searching for your fun, but you've a child's imagination. I'll call you my son. Because you've led me here and you've let me here and you've taught me how to run and jump and play, yes, just not with guns. And it's the pirate's life I chose to choose from, a hollow wind, a brass spittoon. I took up shovels and played the spoons to impress the best, I would make them swoon. But a behemoth in the judge's courts, I knew that I would be locked away until the half-handed judge with a treacherous nudge, but in a playful sort of way. Well, he looked me in my eyes and I knew that I was through. He said, son, just play me a pirate's tune.
Poetry just kind of is the way that I view the entire world. I view it as poetry. Poetry didn't change the way I view the world. Not everything's beautiful in the real world. And poetry is the same way. Sometimes we talk about things in a poet's side of things that people disagree with, people don't want to hear. My inspirations for writing poetry would have to be definitely Shane Khoisan. He's a Canadian poet. He definitely definitely won me over. It started with Dr. Seuss, honestly. Michelle Silverstein. I maybe had some teachers that read to me too. Always appreciate the teachers that read to you. That takes a lot to read in front of a crowd like that. Um, and a guy named Listener, Dan Smith. Very, very, very vibrant mind. I started writing poetry because I realized that I guess I came up kind of in a hard way growing up, moving around a lot, making new friends. By the time I was in third grade, I didn't even know how to write in cursive, which at the time was a big deal. I had moved around so much I could read it, but I couldn't write in cursive. Um, and things like that, in and out of different schools, different living situations, different places like that. Always kind of up in the air. Um, I hid from a lot of that for a long time, and I think that poetry finally found me when I was in high school. It found me and um, allowed me to get all that out. Thought I fell in love. Thought I was in love, so I started writing poetry pieces.
There she was. She walked like a thousand-man militia marching in step to a made-up beat in her head, and I asked her, hey lady, how's life? Semi full of dread, she said, with a fistful of words and a smile full of hope. You gotta keep your head up, child, and try not to mope. Life has her ups and downs, and if you can't find a smile, well, then don't bother to frown. This lady told me to listen to learn from the people I would meet. That's free education, boy. Not everyone will see that even when you got bruises and cuts that bleed, someone will help when someone is in need. And listening closer to her words, I grew weaker in the knees. This lady had it all down. Forget locked doors, she brought her keys. This lady sang words of wind that went dancing with the trees. You will never ever see it coming, child. She explains you've got to sow your own seeds. And you've got a long list, boy, of living left to do, so be the very best with what's been given to you. And when I asked this lady her name, she did not hesitate to say that my name is Lady Life, time my enemy. I take my days in strides and always shoot for victory. I've been uphill and back down again, unfair at times it seems, but I will never ever give you a lemon, son, that I don't think you can squeeze. So walk in moments of struggle with greater steps of ease. Smile a lot, follow your dreams, and learn to live a happier me.
It's not really something that I've thought about that much. But looking back on my own words that I've written or performed or I speak, things like that, I guess my overall theme would be, man versus nature, man versus his surroundings, everybody around you and not necessarily it's not a battle or conflict. Sometimes they're good things. Love. Those are the themes. Love, peace. I really want to teach people to think for themselves. Maybe that's a theme. If you really want to look at it that way. Um, I want to educate, but I want to do it in a way where you don't think that I'm trying to educate you, because then, some people, they don't take to that. They don't like that. So I try to get in where I can. That's my theme. I would definitely say that you should write down every thought that you have that's abstract. Every thought you think is something that is worth thinking, and that you think somebody else should think, maybe you should write it down. And then once a week, you should sit down and look at all your thoughts that you thought people would think, and then you think them together. You make them into what they need to be. Maybe they don't even need to be start to finish, A to B to C to D. Maybe it's, some crazy alphabet like your name, the way your names are put together. It's not an order, but it says something, doesn't it? Definitely keep a journal. Keep a journal, write your thoughts down, write everything down that you can. That's the best strategy, in my opinion. Yes, let me tell you that it is perfectly normal to get writer's block. Everybody you know that writes poetry, everybody that you know writes books, anything, artists, painters, you know, everybody gets writer's block. And everybody has a moment in time where they don't have the words. They just don't know what to say. So yes, I struggle with writer's block. I've been doing this for probably 12 years, and I still get writer's block.
I've watched my generation, blindsided, fall into these trenches and off of the walls, but not to offend any one single person at all. You and I are right there beside them. Because for one thing or another, family doesn't mean brother, but in our examples tried to cover all the holes in their thought out plans to somehow teach their children to fear strangers and still completely grasp the concept of shaking hands. But through a child's eyes, what are wars on foreign lands? Realize that someone told someone that told mom or dad that you smile when you're happy, and when you're mad. They can only teach us from the teachers that they had. And if you get what I'm saying, then kindly stop your playing. Grow up, realize that real life means no more playing, and that the games have turned into routine, and you know that means you've sold them by the hour your dreams, or so it seems. And not to offend any one single person at all, you are right here with me.
Well, I was in drumline in high school and in college. I was in several bands growing up, just playing around here and there. And one time I just decided, hey, I'm going to do it. I read off of a couple of pages of poetry at a place called the Red Door Lounge, maybe, in Los Angeles on a trip I took in 2012. That was the first time I had ever performed for somebody who wasn't like a classmate or anything like that. And then I just kind of took off from there. And now nobody really can tell me not to anywhere I go. I can do it wherever I want to. It's my stage, the whole world is. Oh, yes. Nerves are a very, very real thing. I mean, it's the same thing as writer's block. I mean, whenever you get up there, it's hard to shake off, but you can use it, as an energy to continue forward. What I do is performance poetry, so I have to look people dead in the eyes, a whole crowd. Well, I look over them. I don't look directly into their eyes. I look over them. I look at their forehead or look at their hairline or look at the lights or something behind them, and I rarely do I even look at somebody, but I make it look like I do. It's all just a little stage trick, an acting trick, and I was never really into acting, but somehow I figured it out, and it really works for me. So that's kind of that's one little trick there, just a little hint. But nerves definitely are a thing that I have to deal with every single time that I perform, even if it's a performance that I'm doing impromptu that I just want to do because I want to do it. I still get nervous. And you worry about forgetting a line, or I know I messed that line up last time I practiced it. What am I gonna do? Well, you're already thinking about it, so you're probably gonna mess it up. It's crazy. Even though you're performing a piece, you can still be thinking about 3 lines ahead. Nerves are a very, very real thing, just like writer's block, and everybody has them. The hardest part, I would say, about being a performing poet a performing writer is that sometimes people don't know you're up there performing poetry, especially if you get really loud and obnoxious and you don't use a microphone and you're not on stage like a formal event, you know. Somebody doesn't know you're doing it and they think that you're having a freak out, you know, you're going crazy. Somebody's like, whoa, you're wilding out. Um, and you have to see through them. You have to keep performing and you can't break character. And you have to act like they're not even there. And they're in your face trying to get you to calm down and trying to console you or something, you know. And that and nerves. Nerves are terrible whenever you're performing, and there's no reason to be afraid of your crowd, you know. You make them see the images with your words. That's how this whole poetry thing works, you know. I'm getting my feelings out there, but I'm making you feel the feelings the best that I can. I'm making you experience the experiences that I'm talking about. And changing the way a crowd is looking at you or feeling, or even getting them to pay attention to you is a struggle. But I don't let it stop me. And you shouldn't either, you know. You shouldn't either. You shouldn't be silenced. You shouldn't let anybody tell you that that what you put down on the paper is wrong, you know. And they asked you the question, didn't they? I just wanted to say thank you. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to be able to share with you today. I hope that I answered a few of the questions that you had. They were all very, very great questions. A lot of questions, and I really would like to answer more of them if I could, and maybe send them your way. Again, I really do appreciate everything, and I just want you to know that if you want to write down your thoughts. Make sure people know what it is you want to say. Don't ever let anybody tell you to keep quiet. There's no reason to be silenced and let anybody ever silence you. Thank you. I am Storyteller. It's hard saying who I really am. I've been someone new every day for the last 5 years. I've been out here, lost, wandering, begging for an ounce of hope, a shot of bourbon in a small tin cup, daydreaming, and then my mind stuck. I took a nap beneath this here tall pine in these hidden woods that make me feel fine. I placed my hat over my tired eyes and let the horses rest. It's a mighty pile of turmoil that sits in this here chest, to always want to outdraw the quickest and to be the very best. It's hard saying who I really am. I've been someone new every day for the last 5 years.